match this weekend. Kamanashi come to clash for the street cred. No hands when you stand on the land, stay steady or you're gonna take a splash in the deep end. Light in the water so buoyancy matters, so bounce around to avoid your attackers. Be prepped, it helps if you could double up. Thought it was easy when we burst in the bubble, but never mind all the tough talk. Just step on the platform, ready for the rough sport. Keep your eyes on the stage, yo. 8 exclamations when we shout out Keijo.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Keijo, I was almost going to call it the Keijo podcast. That's not quite correct. It is the Keijo CHADS podcast. Welcome, everybody. I am one of your 4 hosts, JoJo Talks Too Much. I have assembled a proper team of pure CHADS. This is not a virgin podcast. Everybody here has experienced the glory of Keijo. But since 2020 has been such a weird-ass year, we thought why not end it with some laughs and some anime titties and ass and talk about Keijo together. And I hope you guys are as hyped as I am. I think we'll do some quick intros for everybody. And actually, it's funny, everybody's in the same order on Discord as they are in the layout for the stream as well. So, Animak, could you maybe give us a brief intro as to who you are?
Oh, yes. Hey, JoJo, thank you so much for inviting me to this masterpiece of a podcast. I am Animak from the YouTube channel Anime Uproar, and I'm a connoisseur of Keijo. I don't tend to like sports anime that much, but Keijo is the best sports anime in town. It's the best in the game, and I'm super excited to explain why this is a philosophically sophisticated series.
Hell yeah. It is truly the most sophisticated of all the sports anime, I feel. Mr. Cyanide Blizzard, could you maybe give us a brief intro on yourself?
I'm Cyanide Blizzard, and as someone who covered Keijo on First Impressions years back, I look forward to delving back into what I consider to be the pinnacle in terms of redefining what a shonen manga is.
Hell yeah. Evanit0.
Hi, my name is Evanit0. I'm sure I need no introductions, but I will give you some anyway. 2020 has been a very weird ass year, and I just think that not enough people appreciate Keijo, and so we're here to just talk about it in a very serious manner. I don't want anyone to take this out of context. This is a very serious show, and we're gonna have a very serious discussion about the philosophical, I can't even say the word, about Keijo. There you go. Yeah, I'm tired.
It is my boy's birthday, by the way. It is Evanito's.
It is still my birthday. Yes, that is true. That is actually a fact.
It is in fact
Happy
still.
birthday, man.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, and you're right. This is a very serious podcast, very serious topic, and I can't wait to delve into it, man.
So yeah, I saw somebody in the chat mention this, so some people might be confused as to what it is that we're doing. This was actually inspired by a small little channel. You may have heard about it, possibly. I don't know. It's called Unus Annus. And after Unus Annus ended, I know I personally kind of wanted to work on a project similar to it. And I thought, why not start a podcast with a definite ending? And I thought doing... I tried to think of shows that could be funny, and then in a random Evanit0 stream, Cyanide Blizzard and I were saying, like, why not Keijo? That would be hilarious. And so we kind of just stumbled onto it. I'm like, it'd be 12 episodes. It'd be really easy. So we're going to talk about this show with one episode at a time. We do have plans for next week where we're all going to bring a waifu to the table. And we're going to debate, and we're going to let you, chat, decide who is truly who would truly be the top queen of Keijo, and we're going to do that week to week. But for this week, we'll do Q&A after talking about this week's episode. But we are going to go episode by episode, and then after that, after episode 12, us 4 may never meet again. That's probably not true, but we will probably never work on this.
Never talk again.
Yeah, we will literally never speak to each other again.
Yeah.
True facts, true say. But yeah. But to start, I hope, as I said, guys, I told you guys on Twitter, y'all don't be paying attention. I said, you gotta do your homework. If you wanna talk about, if you wanna enjoy this podcast, you have to have seen episode 1 of Keijo, because we're gonna spoil the shit out of it.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to spoil, but like, we're about to spoil it for you. So lads, how about we go ahead and start by talking about the first episode of Keijo? Immediate thoughts: it is way better than I remember it being. Like,
I mean, it is just as good as I remember it being, because I do remember Keijo being an awesome, hilarious, ecchi sports anime.
yeah,
And this is what I always say about Keijo, that, you know, there's a lot of ecchi anime out there that have a ton of fan service, and it's completely classless. Like, for example, like a example that I always think of is Kakegurui's opening, but I mean, there's plenty of that everywhere. Like, the fan service is they're just in a normal setting, like a high school, and then you have these weird, you know, camera angles showing like up the skirt or something like that, and it feels so contrived. You know what they're doing, and it just doesn't fit. Whereas with Keijo, they're like, we want to make a really ecchi anime, but let's come up with an actual in-story way to showcase the ecchi and make it funny and make it interesting and reference a bunch of other anime. And that is what they do with the sport Keijo, and that is why I like it a lot. And the same thing, kind of like Kill la Kill does the same thing, where there's an actual reason why there's so much fan service. But Keijo, I think, is possibly one of the best examples of that.
100%.
Keijo is very unapologetic in terms of what it is. What you see is what you get. And it's actually refreshing to see it approach that as well. It's quite plain and simple. You know, there's this competition, only women can enter, and you can only use either your bust or your butt. That's it. And it's about competing for cash prizes and infamy. And it's about these young ladies working to achieve that goal. Whatever that reason may be, it's about to achieve that goal. And it's not like you're playing Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball for the butt battles. No, this is some hardcore, intense action. They're knocking people out with ass cheeks here. An ass cheek across the jaw, boom, you're down for the count.
Yeah,
and that's what the show brings to the table.
And that's the thing, man. Like these girls, they have to earn it. They have to train. They have to study in school. They have to actually get to the point where they can amaze us all with their beautiful bodies. It's not like e-girls, where they don't earn it. They're just like, oh, look, I'm hot, give me money. These girls work hard, and I respect it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, at the same time, right? Like, bumping your butt against things, you know, becomes painful after a while. So they have to, like, learn how to endure, and, you know, it's a process. And it's not just the bust, it's also the chesticles, you know, like, bumping that across things over and over again, like, it will become taxing on you. And these girls, they do it, which, you know, effortlessly in most cases. It's really remarkable and impressive. So yeah.
I mean, are you serious with the amount of nerve endings and the memories alone? Holy cow!
Yeah,
what
exactly.
are you doing?
This is true.
Hell yeah! Like to me, like it's impressive how like they could have, like Animak pointed out, like it could have been trashy. Like they could have just made it really like trashy, but they actually went above and beyond to be like, no, like they train. There's like a whole ass school that they go to, and like they have to train. There's goddamn superpowers sometimes, and we'll get into that later. But like, I like that they actually go above and beyond to like really try to make the sport of Keijo feel like this insane cross between a sports anime and a shonen battle series. And I think they absolutely nail it. Like, to me, the biggest thing, like, rewatching this, like, years later, was it really holds up, like, not just in terms of, like, the story, but I was amazed with, like, the art and animation. I was like, wait, is this Sakuga that my eyes do be seeing? Do my eyes forego the truth? There's, like, straight up Sakuga in here. And
absolutely.
Yeah. 2017's Keijo has better animation than a lot of modern anime, and it's really impressive.
100%.
Bro, I would have killed for the Seven Deadly Sins last season to have had Keijo animation, bro.
Isn't that crazy? Like this, like Keijo of all things has like quality Sakuga on that anime ass and titties.
Yeah, like
it's crazy.
Seven Deadly Sins, one of the top 10 best-selling manga out there, and they totally ruined the last season by making terrible animation. Whereas Keijo, this fun, ecchi comedy show, ended up having this really, really quality animation.
But it accents even further what they're trying to drive home, which is the seriousness of these competitions. You know, you have a protagonist, Kaminashi, who is determined to claw her way up. to earn her way up there, and you see that with her. You see that with how she approaches it, with the battles that she engages in the first episode alone, and they showcase that through the animation, through the thick lines, through these exaggerated movements and momentum. Just all these different attributes come together to really give an intensity to these battles. These aren't just girls just smacking around their butts and boobs. These are monolithic fights almost to the death.
Yeah. Like 100%. And like to me, I was like I've talked about this. Like if you guys watch the YouTube channel, youtube.com. No, I'm not gonna do the whole thing. But like I talk a lot about colors and like color symbolism and stuff like that. And there's insane use of color in the show. Like it is a really vibrant show. Like the colors all pop. They're exactly like the colors that they need to be to complement each other. The uniforms are, I mean, they be tight, but that's why we like them. Like on top of that too, just yeah. And on top of that too, like we were talking about this before the podcast started. The line art in the show is like I prefer this type of line art in animation where it's like really thick with 2 C's in this case, line art. And
yeah, no, I definitely prefer the thick line art as well.
Yeah, it just looks much better in motion. And I was extra thick. Yes, chat, extra thick. And it's like the designs are dope. Like there's characters in here that like, again, it's been some time since I last saw Keijo, but like the muscular girl with like the one pigtail in the back. I forgot about her. And when I saw her in the show, I like wrote down her name. I'm like, oh yeah, Oishima. I was like, oh yeah, like the designs are so memorable. Even if I've forgotten the names, like I'll recognize the designs right away. Like I think her name is like Kawaii, like the girl who like knocks people out.
Last episode of podcast needs a 4-way battle between you guys XD.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, they're distinct, they stand apart, and that's really nice about it. It's not just in terms of personality or in terms of physique, it's everything about them.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, in the first episode, Sayaka even says, because she was a judo master, and then they ask her, why did you decide to leave judo to become a Keijo athlete, I guess you would say. And she says, well, I like cute swimsuits,
Yeah.
Like, I want to enjoy the cute swimsuits.
What a pleasant surprise. Yeah, you kind of get this, she's a little embarrassed to talk about, hey, I like the swimsuits. And when you get famous enough or you get high enough in there, they design a swimsuit for you and she wants to have a swimsuit designed for her. Like that's great. That's a great motivation. That's a great desire. Why not?
Yes, that's what every pro athlete wants. Like, just want the big things.
Yeah. I want some designer shoes. Like I want sneakers with my name on them. You know what I mean? Like that's what some athletes want, man. And I listen, I'm not chat. I won't jump ahead. Okay, I'm not gonna like jump into future episodes and whatnot. We're gonna take it one moment at a time. That said, Miyata's whole character arc with like the judo thing is like when I saw them mention like, oh, she used to be a judo star, I was like, oh shit. Like I forgot that they set that up like right away. And I'm like, that pays off big time later.
There's the whole thing with her family and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about it now either, but there's deep philosophy there, guys.
Mm-hmm. Follow your dreams. But yeah, legitimately, like, I think another thing I want to talk about too, dude, Dream Scramble, the OP, like splash in my dreams. I'm like, holy shit, I forgot this OP was a bop and a half. Like it's got all, like, it introduces every important character with like these little silhouettes. You see them very briefly. You see Noizumi like flipping around using the gymnastics, and like that song is so goddamn catchy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of anime have great songs. We have to say that right off the bat. But I mean, Keijo is just a really well done anime.
Like legitimately, from the OP to the ED, even like the I almost called it in-game, like the in-episode music, like the OST itself, everything slaps. Like it's all good.
And when I compare Keijo to like other ecchi shows, like for example, that my girlfriend is what was it, Gal or something like that? Right?
Oh yeah, Hajimete no Gal.
Yeah, like stuff like that to me is just blatant fan service. Story isn't compelling. Everything is just meh. the girls are attractive, but it's like meh. But with Keijo, I think they, as Cyanide said, they know exactly what they're doing. They make no apologies, and they just have fun with it, and I loved it.
Yeah. And speaking of music, by the way, Connor Quest in the chat is the gentleman who did the rap at the beginning. Thank you very much, Connor. It is absolutely flawless, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So I gotta ask, just off the top, like, we get introduced to the main four this week. I actually forgot that it happened this quickly. Like that, like the main four get introduced. Like we got Noizumi, Miyata, Toyoguchi, and Aoba. Of the four, which is your favorite?
Oh, Raf's Revenge called this in the chat. My favorite is Non, the redhead.
Yes, yeah. I wrote her down as Toyoguchi because I was like, Non sounds more familiar, but I wasn't sure if that was the name that they end up calling her. But yeah, Non, I can see that for sure. Non's great. Cyanide, my boy, do you have a favorite?
Sayaka Miyata was what initially drew me in when I was doing first impressions years back, and I found revisiting the show, she's one of those characters that again drew me in. You know, she doesn't speak deeply or loudly, but she lets her actions speak firmly and fiercely, which make her really enjoyable to watch in the show as well as in the battles. And how that carries over between the two is very fascinating to watch for a first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it fits with her upbringing too, because she had a very disciplined, traditional Japanese upbringing. So her kind of the way she speaks and the way she acts fits that.
Yeah, her demeanor is carried across universally very nicely, which, I mean, kudos to them for being able to do that, to convey that in combat as well. I can't imagine would be terribly easy, but they do it in what appears quite effortlessly.
Yeah.
See, my favorite character was definitely Mio because of her secret technique called the breast hypnosis. Naturally, any character that can hypnotize me that way is obviously my favorite. And to be fair, all the characters in the show can, but Mio just had a charm about her. She was loud and proud about her assets, which really did help her out in the game. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, and she looks like a supermodel. So
she does.
She's the star. She's a star.
When she showed up, I was like, I remember you. Like, I had so many of those moments, like, rewatching this episode, like, I remember you.
Very nostalgic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I
think that's a big testament, too.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you don't mind me cutting you off there,
No,
JoJo.
not at all.
I think it's a big testament to the show for all of us revisiting it, is that you touched upon it before, where we were able to watch it again, and you kind of have those aha moments or I remember moments.
Mm-hmm.
It says a lot to the show. It'd be real easy just to dismiss it. It was that hot button show. Everyone was talking about it when it first came out. Oh, it's this ridiculous show. It's over the top. It's gratuitous. But it says a lot in terms of how it was able to imprint on you, how it left that impression and memory that we're watching it several years later and we're able to recall it. As opposed to just being like, oh, wait, I think I remember seeing this before, or just being a flash in the pan, drop in the bucket. In this case, not. It left that imprint, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that says a lot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna do a Hajimete no Gal podcast or
no, definitely
podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Like Keijo was the perfect podcast to be like, we're gonna do a one and done. I was like, Keijo, it's got to be Keijo. Evan, before I forget, of the main four girls, who would you say is your favorite?
Like I said, actually, who were the main four? Because I only really remember Mio mostly.
So it's the main four, like, roommates at the end. So it's Nozomi, who's like the girl with like she's got like kind of an accent. She has like, where is she supposed to be from again?
Accents? I think I watched the show dubbed. I'm not sure. Look, my point is the white hair girl was definitely one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, Miyata. Yeah. For me, it's between Nozomi. She's the one with like, she almost has like the antennas for hair. Like
she's like the protagonist.
Yeah,
right?
the
like,
main girl. Yeah, like the main protagonist.
Yeah, her scarf or whatever.
Yeah. For me, it's her and Aoba, like the shy one, because she has the gates of Budilan.
Kudere, right? She's kind of like a kudere.
Yeah, and
Very much so.
Yeah, the kudere thing, usually I'm like, ugh. But for some reason with Aoba, I was like, yeah, she's great. I don't know why. She's just great. I love, like...
You see a moment at the end of the first episode where the magazine gets torn, Nozomi tears the magazine, and you get that reaction. You get that switch.
Yeah.
Where that triggers her.
Yeah, she has, like, a personality that comes out, and she's, like, the snippy one who's like, what the hell are you doing? Like how is this better? And then friggin' Non, like, spills the tea literally spills the tea on the bed, and she's like, no, it's okay, I'm safe. And everyone's like, no, you spilled tea on the bed, dumbass. Oh, it's like legitimately really, really, really fun. If I remember actually, no, you know what? That's getting into spoiler. That's getting into future episodes. We won't get into it, but it is it is interesting that like the main four get sent to the empty room, as they call it. So like immediately they're forced into like potentially getting kicked out of the school, which like in typical sports anime fashion, I feel like every sports anime has that like, okay, like, and now now like you might have gotten into the team, but like the team doesn't like you, and like you have to work to become part of the team, and like that's kind of what's happening here, only instead of being part of the team, it's okay, you need to prove that you belong at the school.
Well, they also had to like, really fight really hard to just even get on that team, right? Which, fun fact, I don't know if you guys knew this, but the height of what's her face, Nozomi, is approximately 165 centimeters. And in that first episode, the platforms that they were on were approximately in diameter 2 Nozomis, right? So that's about 10 feet across, okay, for anyone here in America. Which is, it's remarkable that they had to like balance on these floating platforms, because remember, these platforms are floating. They're not just like, hunkered down in the water. They are still floating platforms or whatever.
Yep.
So there's, shifting weights and stuff like that. And it's just absolutely incredible that these girls are just able to do that. It's a remarkable thing. So the fact that they're able to do that, sort of get past that whole, what's the word I'm looking for right now? The caveat, I guess, of having to try out for the team and stuff like that, and end up passing or whatever. It's remarkable. It really is.
I think it's good that they showed that as well.
Like, the pathways that they have to cross to get to those platforms as well, too.
I mean, they're even thinner. Exactly.
They're even thinner. So it's like not only about balance and precision, because these platforms are in pools. They're in bodies of water. So, and as we know about water is constantly in motion. So you have force that are constantly being applied to these platforms, which are then getting return force as well. So not only are they supposed to balance themselves, but they're supposed to fight somebody else, much less deal with anyone else that may come into the fray as well. So there's a lot of different factors that take place, especially in regards to equilibrium for this.
Oh yeah, like Gozen.
Gozen is my favorite Keijo character.
No, Keijo itself is a very challenging sport when you think about it. Like, this is not a sport that someone can just get into, and be like, "Oh, look at me! I'm gonna take some Instagram selfies doing Keijo." It's like, no, bro, you got to be an athlete.
Yeah, like they are badass, like 100%. Like the level of like not even like, okay, like we'll get into like the powers in a second, because like yes, there's powers, but like even taking that aside, like if there were no powers, this is still like insane. Like you have to be insanely fit. Like I know the joke is like, oh, of course all the dudes like Keijo, and like listen, yeah, we do, but at the same time it's like legitimate skill to be up there.
One of the first things the show does, and it's really smart, really clever, is that you have the two girls, Miyata and Nozomi, you have them watching it, and you watching with bated breath, with anticipation. You see pans of the audience. Audience is filled with young and old, men and women. This is a sport that attracts anyone and everyone. And that's the charm, is they immediately establish this isn't just a bunch of young men watching these girls battling it out in swimsuits. No, this is an intense competition that's showcasing only the finest caliber of athletes, demonstrating immeasurable skill.
100%.
Yeah, and if they had it in real life, I would absolutely go watch it because of just the love of the game.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's all. That's
why. I would be like a big fan if this. And in fairness, as we discussed, like it almost was a real thing.
One day, bro. One day we will be ready.
The world's just not quite there yet, but one beautiful day.
Soon.
Yeah, someday soon. Someday. But not today. I do want to transition and talk about the powers. Because I remember like this really drawing me in. Now it doesn't start off like legit, like it never like shoots the, well, I shouldn't say it eventually shoots the moon. But like we still get like all the powers, quote unquote, I think still makes sense given who the characters are. Like Nozomi has her butt cannon, which is hilarious. But the way
Fantastic thing.
she was that?
No, it's a fantastic thing, is what I was saying.
It's beautiful. But what I love is that like they don't address it. Like you just see her doing like these flips in order to get there. And if you were paying attention, you'll remember that Nozomi was a gymnast before before wanting to pursue a career in Keijo.
Yes.
So she actually uses her gymnastic skills to build up speed and then launch herself forward. And then even with Mieta, you see her using her like judo skills in order to like bounce and flip around people and use speed in order, like the speed that she learned in judo and that sort of like shifting of weight to her benefit. And that's how she's able to like outmaneuver a lot of the other people there. And I do think like their own personal backstories really play into how they play the sport, which I think is really cool. Yeah, even though it's definitely like shonen-y, right? Like she literally, like her butt becomes a cannon. You know what I mean? Like it's straight up like, yeah.
Things are, exaggerated for animation and for entertainment, but that's a big thing. And, tying back before with Nozomi, we see her when she's being interviewed, we see her doing flips and propelling herself on top of this statue thing. And then we see that then applied later on. We see different points where she utilizes that gymnast-based abilities that she's harnessed. So we can clearly tell that she has talent in that category, but being talented in Keijo is a whole different matter, and that's where we get that understanding, much in the same way with Hanabi Kawaii, where we see her doing these moves. We get an example. It's like when a shonen series introduces that really strong character, and you just immediately tell, you're like, wow, this person is a badass. She just appears out of nowhere. She's like, oh, I'm not a fan of bullying, and then just flash, knocks a girl out. Yeah. Flash knocks another one out. Boom, knocks another one out. Then turns her attention to Nozomi. But in all true protagonist fashion right there, Nozomi has seen that several times. And now, because of her latent ability and also because of her general skill, she was able to see that attack and then works to stop it. Which then results in a butt to the face, which is a good laugh moment, but was also a very clever way to stop the incoming attack. So while you have a moment of comedy, you actually have something like, okay, that's clever, as opposed to allowing her butt cheek to hit her chin. She instead just firmly plants her face in her butt.
Yeah, it is, and that's the thing I love about the show is it's something that can be hilarious. Like when I saw it, I still burst out laughing, right? Because like I knew what was about to happen, but at the same time, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, like out of context, it's just like Nozomi just like shoved her face in a Kawaii's ass for no reason. Like, but at the same time, when you see it play, like, so it is funny in the moment, but then it also serves as like a character moment for Nozomi because you see that she's not like a lot of, and I feel like this is an issue with like, not like, because again, this is sort of like a blending of shonen battle and sports anime. And I feel like a lot of like shonen protagonists, be it sport or battle, they typically have the main character be kind of stupid and need to have rules explained to them and stuff like that. But with Nozomi, that's not the case. Like she is like paying attention and is clever, but she's also like loud and rambunctious and will be the first one to sort of like charge in because she feels like she wants to be number one. And I like that she admits freely that like she wants to be number one because she wants to be the most paid Keijo athlete, right? She's like, I want to be the biggest Keijo athlete so I can get paid, right? And I'm like, hell yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, real world athletes, a lot of them, are in it in part at least for the money, so it's realistic.
Yeah, I like that she admits it.
In terms of the powers, I think that, I mean, with shonen anime, whether it's Food Wars or whether it's a battle shonen, it's they're always going to have exaggerated moves, stuff like that. Even in like Kuroko no Basket and all these other sports anime, you have that. So I think Keijo just kind of like builds on that same idea and just uses boobs and ass, the best weapons of all.
Yeah, they build on that ideology and it works great. And JoJo, a nice thing too is they use subversion of tropes as well, because they started off, they kind of make Nozomi come across as a bit aloof, kind of like a country bumpkin. But that's the thing, is they very clearly established that she's smart, she recognizes these things, she studies these things, she catches on to them, and immediately you realize, oh, she's not just head in the clouds, hi y'all, how you doing today type girl. No,
Yeah.
she's grounded. She's there. She's got a game plan in mind. She may want to get paid, but that doesn't mean she's going to slack off in order to get there.
Mm-hmm. I love, like, you just reminded me of something, Cyanide, where two moments happen where it's like a language moment, like a language barrier between characters.
Yes.
And it's Nozomi. The first one was the second one that I want to mention, because it's the one that I thought of first, was Nozomi and Non, because they're both sort of country girls. So,
Yes.
but they're from different parts of the country. So, like, when they're talking, like, Non says something, she's like, oh Lord, like LAWD. So I'm like, wait, is she supposed to be like a Southern type character?
Yeah,
Which is
This
so
often-
funny.
This often happens in anime when they sub it or dub it.
Mm-hmm.
When because there's different accents throughout Japan, right?
Yeah.
And the east to west and small town versus big city. The way they convey it often in English media is they make like the person with the accent sound like they're from Texas or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's pretty funny, but it's also kind of immersion breaking because you obviously know that's not.
So
a little.
that
Yeah.
explains the accents in the dub, because I was very confused by that. I was like,
Oh, so do they have the accents in the dub?
They have accents in the dub, and I was like, what is going on?
That's funny. That's funny. Well, yeah, because Nozomi and Non are supposed to be sort of like not city girls, but they both have like different dialects. So like when they're saying like individual like just like phrases, like Nozomi's like, I don't know what that means, and I was like, that's cute.
I love Non because she is, first of all, she is the thickest, so we got to give it up for that.
100%.
But second of all, I love her pure personality. She's this small town girl. She just wants to, help her village because people have been abandoning it. The village is dying, which is a real phenomenon in many modern countries.
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying to, bring attention to her village and keep people there by saying, look, someone successful is from this village and it's a great place, and she can be a spokesperson for it. And she's just so pure, man. Like, people would call her ditzy and stuff, but it's because she's pure, and she's not corrupted by modern society and it's cynicism, bro.
Yeah. I like that she has like, of the four, she has like the most sort of earnest reason for being there. Like, she's like, yeah, because Nozomi obviously wants to be rich. Miyato wants like a swimsuit like designed for her. But yeah, Non's just like, I want to help my city. So like you said, like if somebody famous is from there, it's a bit more like, it draws a bit more attention to that village and maybe keeps it around for a little while longer.
And that's really relatable, because I grew up in a smaller state, and that's the thing is, sports icons do draw attention to that. They do draw notoriety to that. So it's a very realistic concept, which is just brilliant. I love it. Oh my gosh.
100%. But I gotta say, and this is gonna bring it back to Evan's favorite character, in the sub, and Evan, I'm sorry, I know you watched the dub.
It's fine. It's fine.
In the sub, obviously they're all speaking Japanese, but then when Mio shows up, she says like in English, "You have a very nice body."
A well-balanced body.
Yeah, a very well-balanced body. That's what it was. And Nozomi's like, "You're welcome."
Yeah, because she doesn't understand English. She's like, "You're welcome."
Yeah, she says it in English back. It's so funny. Yeah. Oh, it's so.
Yeah, that's why again dubs, like, you can't bring out as much, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I definitely have. Yeah, I'm not gonna shame dubs, but like I do tend to agree where it's like, I feel like with the sub you get certain jokes that maybe wouldn't translate well.
Yeah, especially like if it's like Full Metal Alchemist or something where it's a fantasy Europe-based world.
Yeah.
Then there's going to be less of that. But when the setting is Japan, and the differences between different parts of Japan are a major thing in the story,
yeah,
it's hard to bring that out in the dub.
100%. Like, and I hate to bring up basically the exact opposite of Keijo, but y'all know my favorite anime is Free. That is a show that has a dub and is trash. Because, like, a huge part of that show is the fact that they're Japanese. Spoilers, but there's times where they'll go to different countries, and it just doesn't work. And they actually did bring in people from, like, they go to Australia at one point. Vague spoilers. And the people in Australia are actual, like, Australian actors who, like, do speak English. Like, it's not like that they just got somebody to be like, oh, hello, it's nice to meet you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, trying to speak English. They actually managed to get like proper English actors to come in and like say the lines. And I was like, that's next level to me. And that's another thing too that I will say is, yes, I still think Free has the better water animation, but Keijo's water, especially for like, what was this, 2017? Like
late 2016.
Late 2016. It still looks good. Like when characters fall into the water, like it still looks good. And I love that loser sound effect that happens when people fall in.
Well, to be honest, I watch anime from like the 80s and 70s sometimes. So to me, you know, it's not 2016 is not.
Yeah, it'd be like.
And I just revisited a bunch of shows from the 80s too. So yeah, but the thing with Keijo is it holds up. This episode looks good. If the idea was of a first episode was to draw you in, I feel like Keijo succeeds with that. It's bright, it's vibrant, it's got tremendous detail. It's got like this comic book type feel. I talked about that because of the thicker lines to it. It's definitely punches at you. It wants to grab your attention and pull you in through the visuals, not just in terms of the characters' actions, but in terms of the scenery as well. And we see that in especially the stages.
Too. Like
yes,
it takes the first 20 seconds to pull you in. Those first 20 seconds alone are like very intense.
Yeah. Like just immediately starting with a Keijo match and introducing an important character without us. Like, if again, we're Keijo Chads, not Keijo virgins. We've seen this shit. But, like, yeah, introducing an important character, playing Keijo in the ring as it's happening. Like, which is really, really cool, really clever.
You have the audience cheering them on. You see their reaction. You see the intensity of the combat. Yeah, boom, immediately within that first minute, we already understand. We understand the value and importance of Keijo within a societal structure as well. And we see how it impacts the lives of people, how it inspires them, and how they, in turn, want to become Keijo athletes themselves. It's not just this ha thing. It's a genuine, authentic sport that has a passionate and dedicated following, and it inspires them in the same way that sports we know do.
Hell yeah. Any last second thoughts on the first episode before we transition to doing some Q&A with the chat?
Can't wait to see how the second episode holds up.
Same.
Yeah.
I forgot the cliffhanger with like the teacher where she puts on the suit and she's like, "You're gonna face me." I'm like, "Oh shit, I forgot all about that."
Wait, you're not a siren, you're real.
Yeah, you're not a siren. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, if there's no final thoughts on the episode, before we jump in to start answering some questions from the chat, I do want to say some thank yous. During the podcast, I'll try to save the thank yous for like the in between, just because I don't want to destroy the flow. But Sammy, thank you for the 300 bits, my dude. Appreciate it. Sam, again, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. Holy cow.
A true butt Chad.
A true absolute butt Chad. We need some Keijo emotes. That's what we need. Absolute
butts in the chat.
We need some butts in the chat. If you got them, if you got butt emotes, now would be an excellent time to spam them. So Sam, thank you for the 5 gift subs as well. Oh, friggin', we do get some butts in the chat. You love to see it. And TechnoRec, thank you so much for the sub, my dude, and the 1,000 bits. You truly are a Keijo Chad. And I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. And now we got butts in the chat. Now it'd be like that. But yes, if anybody has some, anybody wants to fire some Q&A, we'll just kind of wrap up this particular episode of the podcast with some Q&A. But again, for next time, us 4 are going to bring different anime women that we feel could be Keijo champions. And we're going to go head to head. And so next week, when we present these characters, we're going to go to 1v1. We're each going to present against each other. And then we'll let the chat decide who is ultimately the victor in a sort of like mini tournament. So that'll be next week.
It'll be a Twitter poll. It's going to be a lot of fun, bro.
Hell yeah.
A lot of fun.
It's going to be super sick. I've already tried to think of okay, who would be really good. But yeah, so yeah, we'll just kind of fire off some random Q&A. Anime JT asked, do we like the new Attack on Titan OP?
I do, personally. I do. It's just, I feel like a lot of people just compare different openings to each other, and then they're like, well, this isn't as hype as the other one, so it's not as good. I mean, excuse me. if I'm listening on a playlist, yeah, I'm definitely gonna listen to the other ones for fun. But still, if you look at this new opening with the music, the creepy tone it sets, the animation, it's still a good opening. It's just a different kind of opening. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, let's go, let's kill the enemy. It's like, oh, war is terrible, everyone dies. That's the message of this one.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I will admit that I was like, because I saw a lot of like comments, because I said like I wasn't like the biggest fan. It's not my favorite, but I do still like it. And I saw
it's
like
not my favorite either, but
yeah,
for sure.
Like I saw a lot of people saying like when you see more of the show, you will kind of, or more of this final season, like you'll understand and you'll start to like it more. And honestly, I kind of believe it, like just based off the tone of the first episode. But yeah, are the characters involved in this going to be the entire? Wait, sorry. Next question: are the characters involved in this going to be from the entire anime or just these 2 episodes? I'm sorry, Green. I don't know what that means.
I think.
Are we choosing characters from the anime, or like how does it work in terms of? The
so we'll be choosing like anime women from like across anime, like anime in general, and then we'll be
And not just Keijo.
yeah, not just Keijo. We'll be like it could be like Android 18 versus like I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute though. Android 18 would be unfair. You tell me that robots are getting involved?
Well,
If it's a
okay.
robot, it's not gonna be
I will
robots,
say
it's like Android 18 versus Mahoro.
I will say like in like to make it fair, we'll like tone them down. Like they have to like whatever they are, like their power level will be at least like Keijo level. You know what I mean? Like it won't be like they won't like Android 18 can't like blast you off the stage or anything. Next question: can I immigrate to Animakistan?
Yes, we do have a program. It's a merit-based system, but we can talk about it for sure. You
Excellent.
just have to accept the absolute, enlightened absolutism of Animak, the Emperor. We don't believe in democracy over there, so just fair warning.
That sounds fair. Antonio, thank you for the 5 gift subs, my dude. Stonehose asks, what are your thoughts on being sexy? I don't really think about it much. It just kind of happens for me.
True.
Just natural.
Yeah,
I mean, I become sexy because I hang around with these 3. So.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Me sexy? Come on.
Oh, you know what?
Is this gonna turn into all of us saying like, "No, you're
I saw
sexy"?
Animak's 80s poster picture as well. Come on.
Yes.
Whoa, did you see my 80s counter poster?
I did.
Bro?
I did. You were rocking that hair.
You have an 80s counter poster? Like, I didn't see that.
I stole the caption of your picture and put it on mine.
Oh, you didn't tag me, so I didn't.
Animak, you'll love it. It's so good.
See this now.
Next question: will you guys be putting this podcast on platforms like Spotify and iTunes? Probably not. Only because it's not like permanent. I'll throw it up on my YouTube channel. Just because I guess it's on my Twitch. But yeah, I don't anticipate putting it on Spotify or iTunes. Do you guys object to that?
That's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's all you, bro. Whatever you decide.
Right on.
Live free.
Or die hard.
Oh,
It's almost Christmas time. That demands a Die Hard rewatch at some point.
Oh.
Um,
Don't we know it?
okay, Evan. I see what.
Katie says, "No, you're breathtaking." Thank you, Katie. Appreciate it. Where can we ask the questions? Says Bistakal. Right here, says JoJo. Evan, how do you feel about your sub count hitting 100K soon? From Hisoka did something wrong. It's an amazing username.
I mean, yesterday I got a flurry of comments saying, "Wow, we failed, boys," and then I lost almost 300 subscribers. So, not gonna hit the 100K by this year, but we're definitely doing it next year.
Oh, you think so, eh?
No, I'm very confident in that.
I gotta hit 1,000 before the end of the year.
Because
Nah. That's
we
fine.
can't let this dude not go through with the tattoo.
Nah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it'd be cool if that didn't happen. Yeah, I'll admit that like I made a goal to myself where I was like, I'm gonna hit 25K before the end of the year. I think I'm gonna do it. Like it's gonna be close, but I'm like, I might do it actually.
It's gonna happen. You better believe it.
Yeah.
Once that reveal hits, boom.
Hell yeah! Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Oh,
Tomorrow,
you're premiering your VTube thing, right?
yeah. That's why my
that's true.
avatars. So that is a silhouette of tomorrow's Vroid in my display picture on the podcast. But yeah, I'm not going to tell you anything about it. I will say the color is important. The color you're seeing on the Twitch on the Twitch stream is important. But yeah, I'm not going to say too much about it. But yeah. Anyway, questions. What would your Keijo swimsuits look like if you were competing in Keijo? Says Shiorans. Well, I would have a counter for this. We are dudes.
Yeah.
And so we are actually forbidden from competing in Keijo. One of the rules is you only women.
This is true. Mm-hmm.
And that's why the world isn't ready for Keijo, because of the patriarchy, bro.
Exactly. The patriarchy will not allow Keijo.
Yeah,
they don't want.
Doesn't allow women to have their own thing and just, something that men can't do.
Exactly. It's a shame because we all know that truly would save this world. Keijo. It's disappointing.
I know. I mean,
you,
imagine who could want to start a war if they just can enjoy some Keijo.
Exactly. Like, why fight when you could just watch Keijo? Next question from Anime JT. Question: what anime movies are you guys looking forward to next year? I don't know of any. What anime movies are coming out next year? Oh, Given for me. I'd say the Given movie is gonna be sick. But I don't know what other anime movies are coming out.
Yeah, I have literally no idea, man.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, I haven't kept track of any of it. I don't even know what came out this year.
I'm looking forward to the Demon Slayer movie finally being watchable outside of Japan, but it came out in Japan this year.
When is that going to be watchable? Like, do we know? Because I know Crunchyroll has like the rights for it.
Yeah, I think probably it's going to be like usually it would come out in the theaters here too, but now with COVID, I have no idea. But I'm guessing early next year.
Something like that. I know Crunchyroll has the rights for I think either like certain movies like that they'll release same day. Like I think the Given movie is coming out the same day.
Yeah, a lot of stuff is changing now because of COVID, right? Because it used to be that there would be a theater release in select theaters in North America too, but now I have no idea because a bunch of theaters are not even working, or they're working at really reduced capacity and stuff.
Well, even Warner Brothers is like, screw it. Our 2021 lineup is going to be like released online, which is crazy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, the Fate movie was in theaters, but I think that's one where they made an exception to the rule just because of how big the Fate series is. So
yeah. What would Evan look like if he wasn't sexy? Says Stone Shoes. It's an excellent.
Can
question.
Evan not be sexy? I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think that's physically possible. JoJo about to reveal himself to be the 69th Joestar. Hell yeah. Let's see. Femnux versus Boa Briggs. Holy shit. That's too powerful. I'm not even gonna entertain that. That would split the world in two. I don't want to entertain that.
I don't even think our solar system could handle that.
Yeah, that's too much.
That's too immense.
Yeah, no Keijo platform could handle such greatness.
Exactly. Ooh, this is a good one. What anime series are you guys looking forward to coming back next year? I do know which one I'm the most hyped for. Like, the most hyped for the second season of. And for me, that's Dr. Stone. I love Dr. Stone, and I'm super, super excited for the Stone Wars this winter. It's like right around the corner.
Yeah, that is exciting. Promise Neverland is exciting, and bruh, I would be excited for the Seven Deadly Sins because they're coming back too, but last time the animation was terrible, so if it is again, then I'm not super excited. But I mean, right now I'm excited for Attack on Titan. I know it's technically this year, but it just started the final season, and bro,
yeah,
so exciting.
I'm yeah, like that's the thing, right? Because I'm like, if I can count Titan, then I'm gonna count Titan, because like it might as well be a winter show. Like it's like, I think, what is it, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks shy of being
yeah, exactly. It's so weird. Why is
Yeah.
Attack on Titan release always so weird? But I don't even care anymore. Just let's do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Some people in chat saying Slime season 2. That's gonna be fun. Cells at Work for sure. I am definitely like last year. 2019. Promise Neverland was my anime of the year. I loved Promise Neverland, but everyone's been telling me like, oh, dude, be careful. This season falls off. Or not this season.
I know.
Like,
I
eventually
hate that.
falls off.
Don't you hate that when
It's the
people
worst.
do that?
Yeah. So
Like-
I'm like, don't make me not hype. Like,
Yeah, Nux does the opposite where he hypes everything up too much, But then there's people who'll be like, because I really like this arc of Promised Neverland. Like, it was such a great, exciting thriller, so creepy in a good way. And then people are like, yeah, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it because it's all downhill from there, bud. And I'm like, fuck.
Exactly. I'm like, thanks. Like, I do hear people say, like, it stays good for a bit, but then, like, it falls. And I'm like, man, why you gotta do that? Because now I don't know when the fall is coming. Don't say that. Don't tell me that thing. Manga fans, man. Not even manga fans. It's just a specific subset that feel the need to tell you things that you don't want to hear.
Yeah, I know. Like, I would rather find out for myself.
Exactly.
Than, if I feel that way, cool. But maybe I will actually like the other arcs. Who knows?
Yeah. Are you guys hyped for the new Code Geass project? Says Budwee.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, we just got that news that there's going to be another Code Geass anime series.
Yeah.
But apparently, from what Ken Zyro, I believe that's his name on Twitter, said, apparently it's going to be a sequel to the movies, which were an alternate timeline within the Code Geass universe that changes a bunch of stuff from the original series, which I was not happy about personally. So that kind of sours it for me, but I will still give it a chance. But yeah, what I didn't like about the movies is that they changed a bunch of really important stuff, like Shirley, like her whole story.
That really messed me up.
That kind of felt like a cop-out for me because it was advertised as a sequel for Code Geass, and we all love the Code Geass story as it is. And then it was like, well, you know what? Don't worry. There's no consequences to the sequel because it's a different timeline. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that
was a really odd choice.
Yeah, that's a
that's the thing. It's one thing with a series like Evangelion where they decide the movies we're just going to start going off in a different direction. Okay, fine. With that series, you can understand that, but with something like Code Geass, I don't know. I don't feel like you can do that as naturally. At least it didn't feel comfortable with what was done, like what Animak had said. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this TV series will work better to start bringing some of that around and start bringing people back into it. Since we're going to have more material to work with over a longer period of time, I imagine it may run for one core, maybe two, but I don't know. Yeah,
I'll give it a chance for sure. I will give it a chance, but I feel like I would have rather had a spin-off within that same world, maybe featuring some of the same characters, but in the same timeline, than having the whole, it's a different reality type of deal.
Yeah, it just feels like a cop-out.
Because how am I supposed to talk about it then? I'm like, okay, well, this happened, but actually in the original story, that couldn't have happened, and it's inconsequential, but we have to think about it this way because it's like, it's...
Yeah.
What? How?
Yeah, I just...
Exactly. From a discussionary standpoint, you're kind of like,
Yeah, not a fan of that. Not a fan. Let's see. I did see a good question, but I scrolled down by accident.
No!
I know, I was like, shit. It was basically, what's the worst... I believe it was Claudia in the chat who asked this, but it was, what's the worst anime? Or no, it was Anime JT saying, what's the worst anime series you guys have ever watched?
Horizon on the Middle of Nowhere.
I would say Mars something. I don't remember what it's called.
Mars Daybreak?
No. I can't remember. I went on Mal and I wanted to see what the worst anime of all time was. And let me try to look up the name of it. Worst anime, Mars, Destruction of Mars, I think. Mars of Destruction.
Mars of Destruction.
Mars of Destruction is the worst anime I've ever seen.
So the thing is, I don't really watch bad anime because I wait for people to recommend good anime to me before I watch them. I don't just watch anything.
Yeah,
like that I think of. But back when I did used to sample more of the seasonal anime. This was back during the first impressions days that Cyanide Blizzard remembers.
Hell yeah.
I watched Handshakers.
Oh.
And that was something.
Yikes.
That was something.
How did you get past
sorry about that
episode, bro?
Honestly, I only probably watched like 2 episodes, but still.
How did you get past the first episode?
You know what? I'll say this.
He was on first impressions. He had no choice.
Nauseating, man.
I will say this. You know what? I changed my mind. Mars of Destruction is bad, but W's is worse because that is some blasphemy. That was the secret sequel to Handshakers.
Yes.
Never will I forget that.
I heard of that. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that there was basically a secret sequel to Handshakers.
Exactly.
But I guess they didn't even advertise it because they were like, no one liked Handshakers.
Yeah, if they advertised it as Handshakers, more people, or I guess less people would watch it.
Yeah, and so people were like, all right, like a lot of people will watch Gohan's projects because a lot of like, I know like one of my close buddies' son, he swears by K, right? He's like, K is awesome. Like the K series is super cool. And Gohan's is behind that. So every time it's like, maybe this is the next K from them, but it's always Handshakers. It's like always
they also
Handshakers.
did Sekai Yakuindono, I think. Gohan's did, actually, sorry. And yeah, they did a great job adapting that as a manga. Like, Setokai Yakuindono is just fantastic. It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Ton of fun. And I remember that was like, oh, cool, I got to check out more works that the studio does. And boy, it's like a landmine. I mean, you know, sometimes you just step on it and sometimes you're safe.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
they're very hit and miss.
Another from that era, I remember another anime that I got a whole 1 episodes into it was Clockwork Planet.
Oh yeah. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Like that sounded like such a cool title because I love steampunk. So I was like, bro, this is gonna be great. And it was just about some girl like licking the dude's finger or something, and I was like, why?
Yeah, it's definitely very.
See, that is bad fan service right there. Like,
yeah,
that
exactly.
It's just like you're just cringing. You're not even like, oh, this is interesting. You're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, someone's like, oh man, can you? The euphemism in this is so extraordinary.
You know,
my hand was my penis.
All right.
The brilliant metaphor, bro.
Oh, just so deep.
Okay, I think that's the perfect note to end the first podcast episode on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up. But before we go, I need to remind my fellow Chads here of the rules. The rules to a Keijo match. Not that Animak needs a reminder. Like, when we were pitching this, we all agreed, like, Animak has to be here. Because he is, like, the Keijo master. So
thank you. That is an honor.
100%. You were, like, the first person who were like, it has to be Animak.
Has to be.
Yeah. So I am going to go through the rules, though. This is mainly for chat. We all know, because we are the Chadliest of Chads. But
Yes, it is.
yes, but I am going to go through the rules. So, when we come back with our ladies... who will go toe-to-toe in a fictional Keijo fight, they have to follow the rules. So the rules being, it is a race. It is not actually a race. I don't know why they call it a race in the episode. But it is a race on the top of a stage called the Land. Only women may participate. No contact except for breasts and butts. If any part of your body, other than your feet, touches the land, you're out. Or if you are knocked off of the land, you lose. And the winner gets a big cash prize. Those are the rules. That's all you need. So, next week, when we will be talking about episode 2 for the first half of the podcast, and then we will begin the tournament arc, I suppose, where we bring different girls, I guess. Maybe we'll do that every episode, I guess. Like, we'll just bring different anime chicks, and we'll have them
man,
go
I
toe
have
to toe.
plenty. I love...
Got folders of them.
This man is about to pull out his MILF collection. Let's go.
I mean, listen, it's only we're only going to be together for 12 episodes. And again, chat, I must remind you, this project, this podcast, you've already seen 1. There's 11 left to go. We are finite. We are not permanent. You better enjoy us while we're here. You better show up to these streams. You better like this when it shows up on the YouTube channel. And I'm definitely not just saying that because you should also subscribe to that YouTube channel so I hit 25K before the end of the year.
Definitely do it, guys. We gotta help our boy JoJo. And
45K.
I will say that, to quote Spike Spiegel, as I often do, I love a woman that can kick my ass. And that is why I have plenty of waifus ready to go into these fictional cage matches, man. Keijo matches.
Cage matches.
Let's go.
Different topic. Are these podcasts every Monday? Yes, I believe so. I feel like that works for everybody. Yeah. Monday at 6. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. So yeah, every Monday at 6, you better see us. And as Animak pointed out, or Claudia pointed out, are you about to pull an Unus Annus on us? Yes, this is actually inspired by Unus Annus. And as Animak pointed out, we should have called this Boobus Anus.
Oh my
Guys,
gosh.
for next week, don't forget to brush up on your boobology and astrology.
Bravo. And with that said, everybody, we're gonna go. So until next time, you stay classy, AnyTube, and you wash your dang hands.